Hey there, it's Brian. What would you do if you opened an old barn door and discovered a rust-covered car worth millions of dollars hiding inside? Sounds unbelievable, right? But it's happened more often than you might think. And today we're diving into 7 jaw-dropping barn finds that made their lucky discoverers instant millionaires. You won't believe the incredible cars people have stumbled upon, covered in dust and forgotten for decades. And trust me, the final car on this list will absolutely blow your mind. Let's kick things off with a truly astonishing find. Imagine casually opening a barn door in rural France and discovering not just one, but dozens of rare classics quietly rusting away. That's exactly what happened when a remarkable collection was uncovered, featuring cars like a Ferrari 250 GT SWB California Spider, one of just 37 ever made. This specific model alone sold at auction for over $18 million. But the real mystery here is how these priceless cars ended up abandoned for so long. Could there be an even more valuable story behind this hidden treasure trove? Before we unravel that mystery, let's move on to another astonishing discovery. A legendary Shelby Cobra Daytona Coupe. Only 6 of these iconic racers were ever built, and one of them mysteriously vanished back in the 1960s. Decades later, it was found in a storage unit covered in blankets, nearly forgotten. When the dust settled, this forgotten racer fetched an incredible $4 million at auction. But how did such an iconic car end up hidden away for so long? And why wasn't anyone looking for it? If you think that's surprising, wait until you hear about the Bugatti Type 57S Adelante, found gathering dust in a barn in England. This Bugatti, incredibly rare, and one of just 17 made, had spent decades quietly rusting, almost completely forgotten. The twist? Its previous owner had casually parked it in the barn and simply left it untouched for nearly 50 years. Can you imagine abandoning something this valuable? When finally rediscovered, it sold for a staggering $4.4 million. But here's an intriguing question. What other valuable classics could still be hiding in plain sight? Speaking of hidden in plain sight, let's talk about a stunning Mercedes-Benz 300 SL Gullwing found languishing under piles of boxes in a modest garage in California. This iconic car is instantly recognizable thanks to its distinctive upward opening doors, and it remains one of the most desirable classics ever. Its discovery, however, was pure luck. The new homeowner stumbled upon it after buying the property. At auction, this forgotten gem fetched well over $1 million. But why did no one claim this masterpiece sooner? Now here's another barn find that shocked car enthusiasts worldwide. A Lamborghini Miura. Often considered the first true supercar, this Lamborghini was discovered hidden beneath stacks of newspapers in an old barn in France. What makes this find even crazier is the Miura's near-perfect condition, despite decades of neglect. It sold for a jaw-dropping $1.6 million. But what kind of person would leave such an extraordinary car gathering dust for decades? Stick around, because we'll get into that fascinating mystery shortly. But first, let's shift gears and explore a remarkable story from Texas. In a dusty barn in rural Texas sat an exceptionally rare Chevrolet Corvette, hidden from sight for over 40 years. But this wasn't just any Corvette. This particular car was one of the ultra-rare L88 models, a secret powerhouse built specifically for racing. With fewer than 30 ever made, collectors dream of discovering a Corvette like this. So why was it left abandoned, untouched for decades? When the owner's family finally unearthed it, they were stunned when it sold for over $3 million at auction. Can you imagine uncovering such a valuable piece of racing history? Now here's an even more astonishing discovery. What if I told you about an ultra-rare Ferrari 166mm Barchetta found stored casually in an Arizona barn? This classic Ferrari was quietly hidden away, virtually unknown for decades. But the real kicker? The owner had no idea how valuable it had become over time. When car experts finally authenticated it, jaws hit the floor. At auction, this once-forgotten Ferrari soared to nearly $3 million. But how did such a rare, iconic Ferrari model become completely forgotten? If you're wondering how these rare and iconic classics ended up abandoned, you're not alone. The stories behind these barn finds are as valuable as the cars themselves. And coming up next, we'll unravel even more unbelievable tales of hidden automotive treasures. Just wait until you see the final barn find on our list. It's a story that's almost too incredible to believe, and it will completely change the way you think about forgotten cars. Ready to be amazed? Let's dive deeper. Let's jump right back into the action with a barn find so remarkable it made headlines around the globe. Picture this, a modest garage in New York, cluttered with old furniture and forgotten memories, hiding a pristine 1969 Ferrari 365 GTB/4 Daytona. Known for its breathtaking performance and unmistakable beauty, this car was casually left untouched for over 30 years. And when it finally emerged, it fetched an astonishing $2 million at auction. But how could such a high-profile Ferrari vanish completely unnoticed for decades? The truth is, many classic car owners from earlier generations didn't anticipate the staggering appreciation their vehicles would eventually see. They parked their beloved cars with every intention of eventually restoring them, but life simply got in the way. That's exactly what happened with our next shocking discovery, a classic Aston Martin DB4. Hidden beneath dusty tarps in a British barn for over 40 years, this iconic British sports car was once the height of automotive sophistication. When rediscovered, it quickly sold for nearly $500,000. Imagine the feeling of uncovering such a valuable piece of automotive history right in your own backyard. But here's a twist you won't expect. Have you ever heard of the Bayonne collection? Discovered in France, this incredible find consisted of nearly 60 forgotten luxury classics, including rare Maseratis, Ferraris, and Bugattis, all left to rot away in an old estate. This collection was so valuable and extensive, it took experts months to identify and catalog every car. Among them was a Talbot Lago T 26 Grand Sport, a car so rare and historically significant, it fetched over $2 million at auction. But why did such a massive collection end up abandoned in the first place? Turns out the original owner was an entrepreneur named Roger Bayonne, who dreamed of opening a museum showcasing these automotive masterpieces. Unfortunately, financial struggles led him to store them away, forgotten for decades until his family rediscovered them. This incredible collection became one of the most significant automotive finds of the century, showcasing how fortunes can change over time. But could something similar still be hidden somewhere today? And speaking of hidden gems, let's talk about the legendary BMW 507 Roadster. Once belonging to the iconic Elvis Presley himself, this car was lost for decades. Believe it or not, it ended up neglected and abandoned in a warehouse, completely unrecognized. When finally discovered and authenticated, it stunned collectors worldwide. Restored meticulously to its former glory, Elvis's BMW 507 is now worth millions. But how does a car owned by one of the most famous entertainers of all time simply disappear? The truth is often stranger than fiction, and sometimes even iconic cars slip through the cracks of history, becoming lost to time. Take the incredible story of a Porsche 356 Speedster found gathering dust in a dilapidated barn. This Porsche, now highly coveted, spent decades hidden beneath layers of grime. And when it finally saw daylight again, it sold for an impressive $500,000. It's incredible how a car once seen as commonplace can transform into an invaluable collector's item. But let's circle back to an even more extraordinary find, a super rare Lamborghini Countach, the ultimate 1980s icon. Tucked away in a Connecticut garage, untouched and forgotten for decades, this Countach was discovered virtually intact, just waiting to be found. The owner had simply parked it and never looked back, unaware its value would skyrocket. When finally uncovered, collectors went wild, and this legendary Lamborghini sold for nearly $500,000. But what makes the Countach such an enduring automotive icon? Its radical design, groundbreaking performance, and role as the ultimate symbol of 1980s luxury make it one of the most desirable supercars ever built. Finding one hidden away in a dusty garage was like discovering a time capsule from an era of excess and glamour. Now we've covered incredible barn finds from around the world, each with its unique story and a surprising twist. But have you ever wondered if something valuable could be hiding right under your nose? These unbelievable stories prove that incredible discoveries can happen anywhere, anytime. Maybe the next big find will be yours. Which of these astonishing barn finds surprised you the most? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and ring the notification bell because we've got even more thrilling automotive stories coming your way. Thanks for joining me today. See you in the next video.